What's up? Cecil Smith here with Bandana Running. Here to review the Asics Magic Speed One, and I can call it the One because the Two has been released, at least on the Asics website. So if you're looking to pick up the newest version of the Magic Speed, give it a try. It is out now. What I'll be reviewing though is the Magic Speed One, what my impressions were of it, my first impressions, and also my impressions after about 100 miles or so on the shoe. I did use this shoe to race in over the summer. Did set a PR, which I'm not an elite runner by any means. So new PR was set. I'll talk about that a little bit at the end of the video. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the shoe and what I think are the good points of the shoe, maybe some misses by Asics where they can improve a little bit, hopefully on this new version that's coming out, and how it compares to the other, good Asics shoes that are out there. So my first impression of this shoe, pulled it out of the box, incredibly light, and I was mistaken. If you watch the other video, what I said, the carbon plate, normally they were putting them in this area of the shoe. That was actually just like the first iteration of carbon shoes. The very first one in the 20 teens was the Nike Vaporfly, and it had that carbon plate kind of in the middle, and it went through the whole length of the shoe. Since then, they've actually redesigned that part of the carbon plate. So now if you look at the gap in between the outsole here, the little black spots in between there, the holes, that's actually the carbon plate. And that's pretty consistent amongst Nike and Asics. I didn't look at the Saucony or the Brooks or New Balance to see what they're doing, but I looked at those and they've actually dropped the plate in the front all the way to the bottom. Now some of the higher end shoes actually have multiple plates in it, like the Nike Alpha Fly Next Percent or whatever the name of that one is now, their newest one. It's actually got 3 plates in it. So they got that bottom plate, one in the middle, and then one that extends through like the whole shoe. It's actually a pretty wild design. So I think they've kind of come to that consensus that plate on the bottom and the front is what's going to maximize that energy return. And I think it's just easier to do as well. The problem, when you look at those plates, and I figure the reason that Nike got away from it, I haven't found anything, haven't really researched it that much, is if you're trying to set it in the middle of the foam, where do you put it? What happens if the plate gets tilted up or back a little bit, and it's not quite right? This way, if you set it right on top of the rubber, it's going to be consistent every single time. You know what you're getting out of the shoe. You're not going to have a shoe that maybe even is almost have a negative having the plate in there. So I think this design is something they went to pretty early on in the carbon plates actually. But for the Asics Magic Speed, it has a plate on the bottom in the front of the shoe. It does not extend through the entire shoe, which I think is a little bit of a miss on Asics' part. If you look at it, the plate comes to like right in this area, and you're looking at, this much more, just put the rest of the plate in there. Put the rest of the plate in there. They actually did do that on the Two. So the early indication on the Two is it's a full plate shoe, whereas this one is just a half plate. Now, if you're looking at this compared to some other Asics shoes, like say the Nova Blast 2, if you think this is just a skin down Nova Blast 2, a little bit lighter for racing, and they throw a plate in it, it is not. The only similarities between this and the Nova Blast 2 are the Asics logo and where it says FF Blast foam. Other than that, the shoes are not similar at all. They do not feel the same. They do not respond the same. And it doesn't really feel like you want your foot even in the same spot on the shoes when you're running. This shoe is light. It's under 8 ounces for a size 9. So it's like 7.9. So it's, real close. But the difference from other Asics shoes that I've run in, the heel counter is almost non-existent. Usually the heel counter is very stiff, and not in a bad way. Not where it's rubbing or anything. It's just it's very stiff in the back. The GT 2000 series, the Nimbus, the Nova Blast, all those shoes had a very stiff heel counter. This one is very thin plastic, just cup in the back, and it's not super strong, But it's one of those reasons why I don't think they want you spending a lot of time with your heel in the back of the shoe. They want everything kind of towards the front. Plate's only half. Um, the foam in this shoe is also incredibly dense. The Nova Blast 2 that I had before would fit into that maximum cushioned daily trainer category. This shoe is not in that category. It does have a good bit of foam in it. I believe the stack height in the back is 29 and drops down to a 24 in the front. So not a huge amount of foam and only a 5mm drop, but it's not like the FF Blast in the Nova Blast, because that shoe is very cushioned. There's a lot of give in it. This foam is incredibly dense. When you put it underfoot, it feels very stiff, and it just kind of depends on feel. Like I said, I've never had a racer before, so I don't know if that's how they're supposed to feel, but this shoe feels incredibly stiff, and I think that's part of the energy return of the shoe, because the shoe is very responsive from that standpoint. A lot of energy return coming back from the plate, but you got to be in the front of the shoe. That's why I said I don't think they want you in the back of the shoe. If you get up front, it's got a little bit of a rocker kind of built into it. We come here, but if you're landing a lot in your heel, if you have a heavy heel strike, or you like to kind of hit in the back and then roll through, I don't think you'll get the most out of this shoe. This shoe is designed to hit midfoot to forefoot and just kind of stay in that strike pattern. You want to stay up in front, quick turnover. You get a lot of good energy return out of the shoe. If your cadence isn't fast, or if you're not trying to run fast, the shoe doesn't feel that good. So that's kind of a negative on the shoe, in my opinion. It's not a comfortable shoe to just stand around in. It's not a comfortable shoe to just walk in. It's not bad, though, when you're doing some speed work. To me, the shoe fits the category of a racer, maybe a low-end racer, because, you know, Asics does have like the high-end $250 Metaspeed Sky, Metaspeed Edge, and now the Edge Plus, Sky Plus. So, you know, they're pushing those shoes. If you're getting those shoes because you're a very serious racer, this shoe may fit into like the training category where you don't want to burn up miles on those shoes. But you know, the shoe now priced at $110, $109. You may be able to get it cheaper at other places. But on the Asics website, it's $109 right now. And if you wanted to get carbon plated miles with stiff FF Blast foam, you can chew up miles in the shoe. And for me, I raced in it, but I also did a lot of training over the summer in the shoe to get comfortable with it. And you know, it's, like I said, it's good low-end racer. If you wanted to try a carbon plated shoe, you could try this one. It feels very, very different, though, from other Asics shoes that I've had in the past. The other thing about the shoe, a lot of YouTubers, other reviewers said it had like a break-in period. And I don't think that the shoe itself has a break-in period. I think what the break-in is just your legs getting used to the shoe, because it's so stiff and the energy return is so different. Like I said, you got to be up in the front of the shoe. When I first started running in it, you want to go fast. Like the shoe wants you to go fast in it to get the most out of it. The legs are sore, the calves are sore, not necessarily joint pain sore, but just sore from working hard in the shoe, which is good in a way. But like I said, it takes a while to get used to it. It does take about 15 to 20 miles to really get used to how the shoe feels. I think it would be really interesting, now that I've run in the shoe for 100 miles or so, to get it, if I had the opportunity to get a new pair, try them on and see if it felt the same. Because like I said, I don't think the break-in is necessarily for the shoe itself. It is a very stiff upper, very, you know, what I'll call plasticky. And if you look like through the mesh, you can kind of see the plasticky stuff underneath, which doesn't have a lot of give to it. It is a breathable upper, very lightweight, but that plastic feeling, you know, the shoe kind of feels the same as it did when you first put it on. The foam is loosening up, but it's not bad. There's still really good energy return in the shoe, and I think if you look at it this way, like, that's a lot of pressure and it's very stiff still. So I don't think it's going to drop off. The outsole's held up, you know, very good. And these are all pavement road miles for the most part. I haven't really taken it off-road or gravel. I don't know that you would want to do that in this shoe or something really technical. You just want to be kind of, whoops, maybe I can cut that out. You want to be flat where you can really take off. Some other things about the shoe. The tongue of the shoe, incredibly thin. I thought that was going to be an issue for me. Maybe rubbing, not an issue at all. Tongue has not bothered me at all. I also thought the back might be a little bit of an issue here. I haven't worn short socks with these shoes to where I would let it rub me or anything. So I've always had the taller socks on to kind of keep the shoe off of my Achilles, to keep it away from anything out there. But other than that, it hasn't felt bad. No hot spots in the shoe. Like I said, it's very light. You pick it up, it's like, my goodness, this shoe is incredibly light. I do like the carbon plate. I don't like that they didn't run it all the way through the shoe because they were so close. But I understand they don't want to give away their upper end race technology, but I think they've changed enough. They've added some new foam to their high end racers. I haven't looked at the cutaways to see if they added another plate or anything else to it. So the next Magic Speed, I think, is still going to be kind of like that low end racer, $150. Still haven't priced themselves completely out with it. But I would go back and get another pair of Magic Speed One shoes if I was going to do any more serious racing or training. And like I said, it would be interesting to see how the legs responded to a new shoe, because I don't think the break-in is for the shoe. I think the break-in is for the legs. So all that being said, and I did want to take a look at just like the Nova Blast 2 for a comparison, so you can see kind of how the foams are. Like it says it's FF Blast foam, but the Nova Blast is much softer, a much softer foam here, much more cushioned underfoot. Tongue's much thicker. It's still, a good shoe and energetic ride, but there is a difference. The Magic Speed wants you to go fast, and you almost have to go fast in it. The Nova Blast is comfortable to walk around in. I wear it around just for my regular shoe now. The Magic Speed, I would not do that. This shoe is just a running shoe. It's a tempo to race pace. If you're doing anything less than that, if you're trying to do like an easy run or a recovery run, this shoe is not going to work for you. Or if you have heel strike, if that's the way that you like to run, I don't think the shoe's going to work for you either, unfortunately. But as long as you're a midfoot striker and you're looking for something to get a little bit of speed, maybe get that PR in a race, could be the shoe for you. Now, as far as racing goes for me, I did run 2 races in the shoe, and I had, I think, probably like 2 months to prepare to get used to the shoe before I actually ran the races. And the first race, it was about 90 degrees. And I ended up running like a 26:45 or something, not my best, off by about 20 seconds. But it was just so hot. The sun was out. It was an evening race. It was not ideal conditions. I didn't hit my recovery quite right either, so I was a little bit drained coming into the race. So that was a little bit of a miss on my part. But I came in the following Sunday, so that race was on a Wednesday night. I came in the following Sunday to run the Debbie Green race, the 25th. It was the last race that they were going to have. They've done 25 of them total, not sequentially because they missed one because of COVID. But came back on Sunday. I think I ran like a small recovery effort in there, and then came back Sunday to run another hard effort. And I did hit recovery on my Garmin. It tells you what state you're in, if you're maintaining, productive, or in recovery. So I was in recovery right before that race. Temperature was about 20 degrees cooler. It was still in the low 70s in the morning, on a Sunday morning. Really humid, but, way better than on Wednesday night. And I ended up running a 25:40, which was my personal best, is my personal best right now. I have not run another hard effort since then, but the course was favorable for me, and I felt good because that's another 40-50 minute 50-second improvement from the previous year. So every year that I've been running, I've been able to improve my times. I have looked at, technology, what's out there is, and this is the best running shoe for speed that I've ever ran a race in. I will say that. Last year I ran in the original Nova Blast to get the 26-28. This year, both races in the Magic Speed, and it turned out well. I definitely would, recommend if you're looking for a low end 5K racer. This shoe's great. You could probably go up to 10K, no issue. Half marathon to a marathon, you have to really listen to your legs. If it feels good with the mileage in it, yeah, I've seen some people say that. I'm a heavier runner. I'm close to 200 pounds. So uh, with that really dense foam in there, not a lot of give in it. That's a lot of pounding for 13 miles. I would think if it feels good to you, cool. Go for it. But definitely for a 5K or 10K, I'd give it a shot. So that's where I'm at. That's my final. It's going to be my final review. I'm going to continue to run in the shoe, but next I'm looking for. I'll probably go back to the Nova Blast 2. The Nova Blast 3s are out, but they're 140. They bumped the price of them up $10. So I don't know if I'm feeling that. I really like the Nova Blast 2s, so they're around 100. I think I might just go back to the 2s for another training session for the end of the year, and then look at the 3s maybe beginning of next year. All right, so that's all I've got. Best of luck to you in your running, and hope you set a PR as well. All right, see you later.